Would you be shocked if anyone but Philly or Dallas won that division?
Greeny, I'd definitely be shocked. Did you see that graphic?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think Washington's going to be much better than people think. But if the Giants or the Commanders win this division, you need to just blow up the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, because those two rosters clearly should be like Super Bowl favorites. So if they don't win the division, big problems in those cities.
I agree. That would be an enormous surprise. Let's go to the NFC North.
Ooh.
Another team that's a favorite here. Our analytics have the Lions as the favorite to win the division. The newly revamped Bears are third, as you see, with a 13% chance. Would you be shocked if the Bears won the NFC North?
Greeny, I'd be shocked. And not because I don't believe Caleb Williams is going to be a great quarterback or Rome Odunze. Love Rome Odunze. However, if they win the division, my question is, what happened to the Lions? What happened to the Packers? Those two teams are set up much better right now than with a rookie quarterback. I think those two teams should be the favorites in that division. So if the Bears win the division, yikes, that'd be crazy.
It would be, although they're thinking big thoughts in Chicago. So they've got a young quarterback. Let's go to a team with a much older one. Aaron Rodgers, hopefully back and healthy this year. Our analytics give them a 5% chance to make the Super Bowl. That's seventh best among AFC teams. So, Kmart, would you make that face? Would you be shocked if the Jets made the Super Bowl?
How do I recreate that face? Like, what did I do? Like, no. No, I would be so shocked. It'd be the ultimate, like, we did it, Joe moment, because I can't even imagine Jets fans. I'd be so happy for you, Greeny.
Yes,
please.
me too.
But I would be shocked because that would mean the Jets fans would get nice things. And we know historically the Jets fans never get anything nice. And that would mean that Aaron Rodgers stays healthy and the entire offensive line stays healthy. That'd be wild.
I know what it means, what it would mean for the Jet fans. The question is, what would it mean for that man right there wearing the jersey number 8? Kurt Warner, a Hall of Fame quarterback himself, had this to say about what he believes is at stake for Rodgers this year.
You know, Aaron, is one of the best quarterbacks our league has ever seen. But he doesn't get into the greatest conversation until he gets to another Super Bowl. The New York Jets, who have never won, and this could maybe set Aaron, in kind of a different category.
Look, I mean, there is sort of the club of quarterbacks who never won one, and then there's the quarterback of quarterbacks with, the club of quarterbacks with one. And then, Harry, there's the club of quarterbacks with 2 or more. Would it change, do you believe, Aaron Rodgers' historical standing if he wins another championship, this time with the Jets?
It would, Greeny, tremendously. When you look at Aaron Rodgers, who's one of the most talented quarterbacks we've ever seen in the history of the National Football League, yes, it would. But I would also tell you, having 1 Super Bowl and 4 MVPs on your resume, that's not the best resume when you talk about the greatness and the greatest that played the game at that position. When you look at a Peyton Manning and a Eli Manning who has 2 Super Bowls, you look at a Big Ben who has 2. You also look at a John Elway who has 2. But then you move into another column where you have a Tom Brady, a Patrick Mahomes, a Terry Bradshaw, a Troy Aikman, a Joe Montana who have more than 2 to be able to be considered one of the greatest of all time. I do believe you have to have more than 1 Super Bowl, but it's also telling me that Aaron Rodgers hasn't lived up to his billing or his elite status. Because if you can't elevate people around you, and it's not even the fact that he only has 1 Super Bowl, he only has 1 Super Bowl appearance. He hasn't even been to 2 Super Bowls to have the opportunity to win another one. I think that's is the space to where a lot of people are kind of frowning on Aaron Rodgers, and they want to see him get 1 more to be deemed an elite company when it comes to the greatest of all time.
Let me flip the question for you a little bit, D. Wood. If he does win the Super Bowl, and again, I mean, I'm going to need like a month off. But if he does win the Super Bowl, does that put him in that conversation? Will you suddenly be here saying, you know what, we got to start talking about him with insert any name you want? He just talked about the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Would that put him in that conversation?
Yeah, we got to start talking about Aaron Rodgers, and along the lines of not only winning multiple, but winning multiple with 2 different organizations.
Right.
That's rare air in National Football League history. And then you combine that with the 4 MVPs that Aaron Rodgers has already had. Yes, he would be, like I talked about in the first hour, there's levels to this. There's different levels in the Hall of Fame. Aaron Rodgers go out here at the age of, 40, 41?
He'll be 41.
He'll be 41. He goes out coming off an Achilles, and he takes his Jets team and wins the Super Bowl, oh yeah, we're definitely talking about him differently.
It's not just two franchises. It's this franchise.
Yeah.
You can argue that doing this here is one of the greatest accomplishments ever of any quarterback. Do you know how many quarterbacks have started multiple Super Bowls since Aaron Rodgers last was there?
Yeah.
It's wild. He's 1-4 in conference championships. 21 QBs have multiple Super Bowl starts, and 16 quarterbacks have started a Super Bowl since he last did in 2010. The word is underachieved. He is an elite talent, but it hasn't translated into the greatness that on paper that we're used to seeing.
Or at least the big time winning, the high level winning. Here's what I would say. I think Rodgers is in a position where he has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Yep. His standing as one of the great players of all time is locked. Nothing changes that. But I do agree that there are levels to which he can still ascend